Greetings, YouTube. You know, it has been probably the worst 48-hour period I've seen in Marvel Contest of Champions since patch 12.0. And some people are now asking me what the heck that was because it has been long enough, now years, since it happened that several people are uncollected, maybe even have beaten Act 5 fully, and joined the game after March of. I can't remember. I think it was. I want to say it was March 2017, which would be a full 2 years ago, but it might be different. But my gut tells me it was 2017. Anyhow, it was a couple years ago in March. And Kabam had done this thing very similar to what they just did by giving us the $29.99, unless you live in other countries where it's more, rank 5 4-star type deals. Only in this time, it was the first chance you had to awaken a 4-star champion of your choice with one of those for $70. You get to choose the 4-star Awakening Gem class of your choice, which I would say at least half the people in my alliance, including myself, used that thing on Scarlet Witch because it was almost impossible to pull her from the 4-star crystal. Nevertheless, awaken her. Same for Black Widow or OG Thor or certainly Wolverine. And that was in like December. And so everybody was like, oh my gosh, I can finally beat the game because Scarlet Witch really was a cheat code pre-patch 12.0. So was OG Thor. And then 3 months later, they nerfed those champions to the ground and destroyed the value of the investment you had made 3 months before. So that threw the community into a tailspin. They tried to buy us off with the first introduction of rank down tickets and a pretty poor compensation package. The community was so outraged, we had a successful boycott that resulted in a second and much better compensation package that still wasn't enough to make people happy. So then they did a beta test, one of the first beta tests, if not the first beta test I think they'd ever had, where they experimented to make sure that the champions like OG Thor that were nerfed to the ground maybe weren't nerfed half as badly, so at least they returned them into a partial state of success, though I don't know anyone to this day who uses OG Thor in attack anymore, and he used to be the champion besides Scarlet Witch that people would bring into really hard content, even Labyrinth and especially Realm of Legends. So that's to say, generally I have a policy when it comes to free things, which is, can't really complain because it's free. It's a gift. That's why when people get outraged by the daily calendar, I kind of get nervous because I'm like, look, this thing didn't used to be in the game, and now it's free, and we have this entitlement where we expect every month to be better than the next one. It's just not going to happen, but it's still free stuff that you don't have to do anything besides log in. Even if you're not in an alliance and you don't use any of your energy, just log into the game every day, get your free item, log out, you're still getting something for nothing. So, with that being said, if this was a week ago, and it was International Women's Day, and a message had popped up in my inbox about a free gift, even if it was just a 3-star, I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be excited, or I wouldn't go out of my way on my YouTube channel to promote it, but I also wouldn't be annoyed. It would just be kind of like, okay, whatever. But I don't think Kabam, and especially the marketing team of Kabam, realizes the monumental shift historically in how everything has to be viewed now, especially through the lens of 4-star champions. And their marketing team, I am never going to grade a 4-star deal the same way. If that $29.99 rank 5 4-star gem came out today, I would give it at most half the grade I gave it just a week ago because it has less than half the value that it did a week ago. And that includes, of course, for synergy teams because so many people, especially for Heimdall, grinded for that champion solely for synergy. Now it's completely useless for the future of Act 6 unless these champion requirements are temporary or they tweak them, which, you know, I'm probably hopeless, but I'm still holding out hope that maybe that happens. So let me talk a little bit about what's here versus what should be here because it's a huge missed opportunity. We have this free crystal. To celebrate International Women's Day, we have the 2 buffed female champs above us, I guess besides, well, actually the 3, Spidey Gwen. We've got Spidey Gwen, Gamora, and She-Hulk, and maybe they buffed Gamora because it all happened kind of silently out of nowhere for International Women's Day. I don't know. She-Hulk, Spider-Gwen, and Gamora have been updated with new and improved synergies. So maybe they just looked at March 8th on the schedule and they said we need a 3rd female champ besides Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk, so let's bump Gamora just to celebrate this day. It seemed on paper like it was a great idea. Okay, if you currently have these fantastic champions in your roster, you'll find the changes have been made to them already, which we do appreciate. For more information, check out the blog. Okay, so we have an ultimate crystal guaranteeing a 3 or 4-star female champion. I think this is really great for newer players, for people who don't have many 4-stars. Maybe you only have a few 3-stars. This is great for you. Kabam has given you this. But what part of the community has Kabam seriously ticked off this week? It's the end gamers, the people who are ready for Act 6, the people who have all 5-star and 6-star champs in their attack team, except for the case of synergies. That's the community that doesn't need another 3 or 4-star champion to their roster, especially a 4-star champion that you have told us we cannot bring into Act 6. So all they had to do was the same thing that they did on Christmas Day, which was to say, hey, if you're uncollected, or maybe even if you have the title of those of you who have completed Act 5, you get a special legendary crystal that is the 4 to 5-star version of this. I don't care if you even have to nerf the 20% drop rate of the legendary crystal and say it's a 10% or a 5%. Just some percentage chance of a free 5-star champion to help you with Act 6. That would have been such a obvious thing for me as a marketing director that I would have done for Kabam even before this week of an Act 6 fiasco that caused so many people to be in an uproar about the strange changes of the now infamous champion requirements for Act 6. But let me take this a step further. Not only should they have included a legendary crystal, but they should have given us like a 24-hour event to use our favorite champions, maybe just our favorite female champions, and the reward, especially on epic difficulty, could have been a legendary crystal and maybe some tier 2 alpha shards and fragments, or maybe even some 5-star shards as well. That, along with a legendary crystal, using female champions, especially because I'm always confused about this marketing. They know that they just made Spider-Gwen, Gamora, and She-Hulk way better, so why not encourage us to take them into the contest, to take them into a special quest where we get to utilize those new champions and practice with them more for awesome rewards. That just makes sense to me, and especially one of those quests where we know we just got new content this week, so it's a 0 energy per tile quest. Just a short, maybe 1 or 2 path quest to use only female champs with pretty awesome rewards, and you kind of filter out the people who aren't uncollected because you have the epic difficulty, which will absolutely be different for both rewards and PI than master or heroic, or the usual format. But instead, everybody just gets a 3 to 4-star crystal, and those of you like myself, even if you pull that rare 20% 4-star RNG, you're not going to be able to use it in future content for story mode purposes. Obviously, you can use it for things like variant difficulty, but we're not talking about variant this week. We are talking about Act 6. So I'm guessing that crystal is now somewhere in this. And here we go, the Ultimate Women of Power crystal. So I still don't have a 4-star Emma Frost. So out of all the champions in here that I would look for, I don't have a 4-star Emma Frost or a 4-star, potentially half as good as she was 48 hours ago, Ghost. That would be awesome. I expect to get, who's the worst 3-star in here? I think it would be very ironic if Kabam spit in my face and gave me a 3-star OG Captain Marvel, a champion that I have been hoping would be buffed with the Captain Marvel movie announcement really being anticipated since the end of the first Avengers Thanos movie, at the end of Infinity War, I should say. But yeah, we really don't get what we want today. Just legendary crystal and, of course, better drop rates. Okay, 3-star Elektra. That's about the worst you can do. Yeah, it's about the worst you can do. Women deserve better. I want to take my Gamora into a quest. I want to take my She-Hulk into a quest. I want to take my Spidey-Gwen into a quest. I want to smash things. I want to practice with them. I want to get some cool rewards for nothing. I mean, nothing, of course, is subjective. It would be maybe some enemies that are kind of the first couple chapters of Uncollected. Maybe you have a boss that's around 15,000 PI, and then enemies between 8,000 and 12 to 13,000. That would be my ideal scenario, even if you have to make it similar to the PI of the bosses and the enemies of the Nick Fury Chapter 1 quest. That would be fine. But to just say, hey, those of you who are uncollected, that we really, really think that's an important thing, which we're going to be even more of with the Cavalier title, yeah, we're just going to treat you the exact same way as somebody who downloaded this game yesterday and give everybody the same crystal. Again, it's a fantastic opportunity for people who need 3 stars and 4 stars. I don't ever want to discount that, but there should have been a second tier for people who are uncollected or people who are the Elder's Bane community, people who need at least a chance for a 5-star to bring into Act 6. It was a missed opportunity, and I just keep shaking my head at the marketing team. All the people at the marketing team right now, I need you to fly to Stillwater, Oklahoma. I can sit down with you and teach you how to do your damn job.